purported gang stalker Zachary put me out 2 days ago, and he didn't want to give me a ride home because he was gaslighting me, and I halted his gaslighting immediately because I recognized it, and I've been a victim of people gaslighting me and playing psychological tricks against me for whatever gain they get or whatever benefit that they receive in causing me distress. I have no proof that he is, but I can say that when he came into my life, pulled up into my driveway, he was an absolute stranger. I had no idea who he was. And he had on this facade of being a great guy, a caring and upstanding man. And so he asked me for help or assistance, and I unconditionally gave it to him. But I've never seen such unconditional care or consideration from anybody, not even my own family. And for this, I suspect it is because, one, I am a man, and two, I'm a Nubian man, a Native American man of this land. This is my land. But I stopped here to take a nap because as I was pushing from Stockbridge, which is that way, my little device, which is a cart, actually broke. And once it broke, I don't believe it broke. I just believe that the bolts and nuts were not secured properly. So when the device came apart, all of the property that I've been securing for the last couple of days since Zachary put me out of town, I was forced to basically sleep in the woods for the last 2-3 days. So once it broke, I took a little bit of a step off of the road on Lake Jodeco, 3972 Lake Jodeco. My house is 1595 Lake Jodeco. And it's further down that direction, which goes into Jonesboro. It's not too far from the historical district of Jonesboro. But nobody appears to be concerned. I stood for about 12 hours straight trying to get a ride, even with cash, and nobody would stop and ask me what's wrong. Somebody asked me while I was walking on the highway with all of this stuff if I needed a ride. Twice that happened. The only way that happened is because I was in a 2-lane highway, but I was on the same road when I stood for 12 hours, and the guy who offered to stop and help me, he was extremely reluctant to help me. It's probably because of my stature or my no-nonsense way that I carry myself. Being that I'm a veteran of the United States Army and the Georgia Army National Guard, I have an honorable discharge. And you got people like that who swerve over to the white line whenever they see me, just to kind of, I guess, make me feel fear or whatever. But that's just one time I caught it on film, because I'm not directly close to the white line. But when I stopped here on the side of the road, his wife, she was going to work. They didn't come out here to see what was wrong or what happened. Somebody across the street, 2 houses up, he actually came to the street, and then the only thing he wanted to do was to call the police, until I said, oh yeah, I saw 2 police officers. They can't do nothing for me. So then he was like, okay. I could tell he didn't really want to help me anyway. So I dismissed him, and I said, go ahead. You can you go ahead and you can go. It's really an offer. It wasn't what I wanted. But he left very quickly. So after talking to his wife, she probably left maybe 4 or 5 in the morning. She might have been on her way to work, but I told her. She asked what happened, and I said, "Well, ma'am, I'm just very tired. I just need my wagon broke, and I'm too tired to even call for help. Police cannot help me because they don't see a man in the private, and they don't see a veteran or officer of the law of the land. They see a subject or a fiction or something that is deceased, something that is not living. They really cannot provide me a relief or a remedy without extracting commercial equity." So I'm just there are people that help me though. The guy she told me good luck when I told her I needed some rest. And I went to sleep and I woke up and it was like 12 o'clock. And I went to sleep, it was 12 o'clock. And I woke up to him telling me that I gotta leave. I really don't know too much of what he said or anything. I just knew I was woken up. But I'm a pretty substantial distance, as you can see, from his driveway. And so my intent was not to squat on his land. So I immediately left and got up and I organized all of my property in a semi-decent way to get off his property, because the property line is about over there where the end of those hoes are. So demonstrate how a man like me, not loved unconditionally, barely loved conditionally, but if I were a woman or a dog, I probably would have been helped the day I got put out of the gaslighters. Put out of his, I didn't get put out of his car, but I refused to allow him to treat me the way that he was treating me, especially when he was using my labor and not properly compensating. He might have believed he was compensating me because he handed me a minimal amount of Federal Reserve notes. However, I did not accept Federal Reserve notes as payment for a debt, because that is contrary to the law that I have pledged and have sworn my life to defend. But yet, since I was required to do such a thing, I'm now being punished for it by the same men who required me to take the oath. So as you can see, it's no love. Widow's son. But if you ever traveled, you already know that. Right now I'm in the midst of traveling home. And of all these vehicles that drive by, very small amount, if any, even offer or ask, am I okay? Maybe it's because, you know, I could be a criminal, maybe. I could be a drug lord, a drug dealer, or maybe it's because I could be a lot of things that I'm actually not. But one thing I will say about the gentleman who is the property owner, he woke me up. I was in military mode, so I didn't speak or anything. I just executed on demand. So I vacated the premises, and he brought me $10 and said he hopes it helps me. Well, it does help. It does help because now I can maybe just have a higher incentive for somebody to just consider my predicament by helping me get closer home, which is in actuality about a 2-3 minute drive in the opposite direction. So that's towards Jonesboro. So just wanted to demonstrate how, Chris Rock once said that women and dogs are loved unconditionally, but a man in America is not valued. And a real man in America is not valued. A manly man in America is not valued. He is devalued by men who are not American, who are not native to America. In our ancient cultures, such as the Aztec, Mayans, and other civilizations that are a part of my bloodline, my inheritance, they have been strategically attacked and removed so that the land may be taken by foreigners who have infiltrated and have disguised themselves as a government in order to deprive the lawful inhabitants of their domicile. But their deeds are not without their deeds are not without their deeds are not without consequence by our creator. Creators. One of those creators is that great mother. The great mother creator, Earth, is what they call her. Terra. And they are extraterrestrials that have conspired to deprive the lawful inhabitants of their habitat. They have tried this for thousands of years. We have beaten them many times, and their leader, Azazel. But just know that this system was well thought out, as were all the last times throughout the millennia, wherein this very same agenda, which is not a new world, but a very old world order, is trying to be reestablished by means of war, death, and other forms of destruction of creation, which is the opposite of us. For we are creation. Anytime we come together, we create. So this is why we're all divided. This is why so many people have driven by and haven't even rolled the window down and just say, "Hey, you're all right, buddy. It's going to be okay." This civilization is successfully uh, programmed by their mortal enemies. And unfortunately, they're winning for right now. For right now.